So, Troy, you were kind of the brains behind this. Talk about kind of overall the vision for this and what you want to see this be in the future.
Yeah, I mean, the vision wasn't certain in the beginning.
But people are like, no, my expenses are low. I make 10,000 and I only spend 5,000. I'm like, okay, so you're saving 5,000 a month. And they're like, oh, no, no, no. I'm like, okay, well,
I was like, oh.
yeah, where is it? The long form, come and watch it. There's a lot of good dialogue in there. There's things that are really good nuggets that don't get put into the shorts.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Everybody like, subscribe, comment when you can.
No, I'm excited. We're really kicking off kind of the first official business casual. So we've had the new name. We've had a couple episodes. Chelsea and I have gone through, and last week we really talked a lot about her and her story, how she got to us, how we started building the podcast and things like that. Today, really talking some stuff behind the scenes. So
hmm
awesome that we're in the new studio. Came out so much better than I expected. You guys did an amazing job. We're here with Troy and Kelsey. For those that don't know, they're behind the scenes producing and really creating the content for this show. Wanted to get them on camera as we really go into our new home and give a little light to them, let them tell their story and really talk about what their vision for this podcast is. We've got a couple different age demographics. We know who is viewing our show. So really anywhere from people that are in college up to kind of Chelsea and my age demographic being in their mid to late 30s, and really getting a perspective from Troy and Kelsey of what people want to see in the world of finance. What is really going to help young professionals either finish school or come out of school, have a successful roadmap for what they do and what we can do in terms of entertainment through this show to provide that information to people in a very fun way.
hmm
So Troy, you were kind of the brains behind this. So we'll start with you. We'll get to Kelsey in a minute, but talk about kind of what your vision is. I mean, we completely revamped the studio, added a ton of room, added a lot more light, cameras, more production. Just talk about kind of overall the vision for this and what you want to see this be in the future.
Yeah, I mean, the vision wasn't certain in the beginning. I mean, it was kind of, that's what we spent the last 5, 6 months
Right.
working on, kind of figuring out what that was going to look like. Um, my vision now is to kind of have a fun show, something that we can do all the time. So that's what this show is. And then also use the studio to bring in other advisors, bring in clients, and then also have two hosts that are really like the audience can engage with.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that you need in a podcast is somebody to engage with, somebody that you get to know, and that's what you and Chelsea have been doing great on. So
Yeah, we have a ton of fun doing this. I mean, we talk a lot in the office, outside of the office. We just it's fun to kind of put ideas together and bounce ideas off of each other from the standpoint of money, finance, accounting, just all those different areas in which we are very similar but very different in a lot of forms of our life. So it's fun. I mean, to be able to kind of come on a platform like this and show very different perspectives of what we think and how we can put it together and relate to different types of people with our different mindsets. So it's been really fun, and I think you guys have done a phenomenal job in driving this and guiding us and giving us ideas and feedback on what people want to see and obviously the creation of just a better environment as we're starting to get far more traction online. And Kelsey, I'll kind of turn to you and talk a little bit about that
hmm
because you've only been with us for a short amount of time. You're still an intern, you're still in school.
Yeah, I'm still getting my bachelor's degree. I'm a marketing major, so this has kind of helped me a lot. Just kind of like get to know how to use like KPI tools and like really drive engagement and just kind of figure out like how to like increase what we're doing and just kind of make it better and more entertaining and reach like a broader audience
Yeah.
pretty much. So I'm still figuring it out, but this has helped me a lot just kind of use all my knowledge that I'm learning and put it to the test.
Yeah, and the part of this that we had no clue about. I mean, we come on here and we talk and we have fun and we laugh and we make jokes and kind of make fun of each other. And then you bring us the analytics and we're
Mhm.
starting to see, I mean, thousands or tens of thousands of views on specific posts, which is like crazy to think that we're kind of just on here having fun, having conversations about money, what we do on a daily basis, and the amount of traction that we're seeing and the amount of people that want to consume this content
Yeah.
is really making it fun for us and obviously putting a big investment into kind of making this a better produced show, bringing on more
Mhm.
professional people in terms of clients and other advisors, and then having the fun side of it where, again, I mean, Chelsea and I are always going to give information, but have a very playful way of doing it, as well as like making it fun because we deal with clients on a daily basis and it's not just okay, here are the facts and here's how it works. We need to make it very relatable for the average person.
Right.
And again, from this demographic of people in their early 20s to potentially like mid to late 40s that are consuming this, like
Mhm.
everybody's at a different place in life.
Yeah.
So, Kelsey, kind of going back to you, for people in your peer group, so graduating school, coming out into the real world, getting a
Mhm.
job, what are things that people are telling you that they know, hey, I know you're working on this show, we really need to talk about this, or we really need to hear about these topics so that we can kind of enter the real world
Yeah.
and be prepared.
I think honestly, like, cause when I tell my friends that I'm, like, working on this project and
Yeah.
doing this kinda stuff, they're always like, "I'd love to know, like, how I should invest my money,
Yeah.
like, what I should do," because a lot of friends have, like, student loans and things like that, like, they wanna invest so that they can pay off their student loans, but still also make money at the same time,
Right.
like, that kind of thing, so I think that's, like, a great topic, especially for, like, my age group, just because like, I have no idea about investing, and I'd love to learn, and I learn a lot, like, watching the podcast and stuff, so that's good.
Yeah, it's funny that I mean neither one of you are finance backgrounds. Like we
Yeah.
brought you here
No.
because you're the opposite of us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We need to know how to create this. I mean, we don't know how to set up the lighting or the cameras or the
Yeah.
production or how to put stuff on any of the platforms that we're on. So it's funny whenever we get done and you ask us questions, you're like, "Wait, you said something about this. Is this how
Mhm.
this works?" So it's good to have the different perspectives. And I think, like you said, coming out of school with student loans, how to buy a house, how to pay
Yeah.
off debt, how to still enjoy life.
Mhm.
You're coming into the world, you're making money. How do we sustain a nice lifestyle, but also not get buried in debt?
Yeah.
And these are things that are really hard, and if people don't follow the proper order of operations or have an idea of how to do it, it becomes really hard and to some extent impossible to
Mhm.
get out of that cycle of just being buried or not having a comfortable life and feeling like they're in debt forever. Troy, fast forward a couple years, you're still in school, but getting an MBA, but advancing kind of through undergraduate, having a full-time job, going through school, different place in life for what you and your peers are looking to get out of this.
Yeah, so, um, I went through a different process. I didn't jump right into marketing when I started, so I was doing project management before this, but I really feel like that helped my organizational skills. So, doing that, led me into this, and now doing the finance stuff with you guys, it's making me wanna invest in my future. Like, I wanna learn how to invest. I don't have any current stocks or anything like that. I have the basic 401k. I try to meet so I can get that match, but my financial knowledge is limited.
Yeah.
So now I have you guys to help me with that kinda stuff.
Yeah, and there's just so many different things that are available that if it's not offered through your company or if you don't do your own research, you probably have no idea.
Mhm.
And like you said, it's okay, you're putting money away for retirement. You guys are super young. So retirement is really good, but it's 30 plus years away,
Mhm.
40 probably years away for you. And it's great, but what are all of the things between now and then that you want to accomplish? Is it paying off student loans? Is it buying a house? Is it um, being able to retire early? Is it having some type of vacation home or living a certain lifestyle or traveling? these are all things that we deal with clients that are really hard day one to put into perspective. But whenever we say them out loud, people are like, yeah, I like the idea of doing those things. But how do I do it in a way where I'm not sacrificing today for the future, but I'm not also completely sabotaging the future
Yeah.
to take away from today.
Mhm.
So it's a balance, and that's what we work with clients on in a very, very simple approach of, okay, let's prioritize things. Let's look at where are things at today? What's your highest priority? What do you want to make sure you get taken care of?
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about that. I'll talk more from my brother's perspective.
sure.
He has a girlfriend of 5 years. They actually just recently bought a house, so he was saving up for that circumstance. And they talked about it. They talked through with each other. Okay, do we want to do the house first? Do we want to get engaged or get
Right.
married first?
Yeah.
I also have a nephew that's 25, and he's gonna be doing that soon as well down here.
Yeah.
And it's a different life down here too, with the how much housing is and
For sure.
doing a ceremony as well. But we talked about that the other day.
Yeah, it's a very different world where you live geographically. So
Mhm.
both
Mhm.
of us come from the Midwest. Kelsey, you were kind of
I'm
born and raised down here.
yeah, I'm from Florida, South Florida, so this
Yeah.
has always just been
Yeah.
like $700,000 houses are very normal for me.
Right. So coming from a place where my first house, I think, was $200,000 and it was a mansion in comparison to what something is down here,
Yeah.
to come down here and see the equivalent home being several $1,000,000
Mhm.
is crazy. Like you talked about, the order of operations of buying a house or getting engaged.
Mhm.
So buying an engagement ring is a pretty substantial cost. Putting the down payment down for a home is a pretty substantial cost.
Mhm.
Saving up for a wedding, which is something that can't typically be financed, is a pretty substantial cost that happen in the course of life, normally within like a 18-month to 36-month time period. Those are 3 of the most expensive events that like a young person could experience, and it happens really, really quick.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
going from having potentially no or little money to needing all of this liquidity is like a
Uh-huh.
terrifying event for people that just have no clue where to begin.
Yeah.
Throw in student loans, throw in some credit card debt on top of it, and depending on where people are at in terms of overall age, it becomes a daunting thing, and the statistics show people are waiting a lot longer to make those decisions. So people are
Yeah.
renting longer, people are waiting longer to get married, people are waiting longer to have kids. I'm 38
Mhm.
and I have a 4-year-old. So I was 34 when I had my first child, which
Yeah.
is drastically different than probably our parents whenever they had us being in
Mhm.
their 20s. So I've kind of become a product of that, of building my professional career and then making decisions on how to advance in life. And I think that that's something that more and more people are trying to, I don't want to say get away from, but I think people are going back to starting families earlier. People wanting to
Yeah.
make decisions faster
I've
rather
noticed
than like
that.
our generation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see that, like, even with, like, my friends and stuff, a lot of people I know are getting engaged right
Yeah.
now that are, like, 22, 23, and I'm like, "Oh my god, like, do you have a job? Like, do you know, like, what are all the steps that are happening? Like, do you know what's coming up?" They're like, "Yeah." But a lot of them will just, like, get engaged and then wait, like, they'll wait
Yeah.
years to do, like, a marriage ceremony or, like, even, like, really buy a house, like, they'll just wanna do the engagement thing and then, like, rent a condo or something so that they can start, like, slowly baby steps into, like, what an adult life would be, but, yeah, I just think it's kinda crazy. I'm always just like, I wish I had it all figured out first before I did any of those things.
It's hard. I mean, I'm living it and I don't have it all figured out. It's
Yeah.
like you just kind of live day by day. And I think that there's pros and cons to all of it.
Mhm.
So I have a cousin that's essentially like my sister. We've been very close since we've been kids. We're a year apart. She had kids a lot younger, so now her kids are a little bit older, like
Mhm.
middle school age. And it's fun because now they're like self-sufficient and they're like doing their own thing and we're the same age and I
Mhm.
still have a little one and she's super fun, but very far away from the point of like going and doing things on our own or almost driving and stuff like that. So there's a lot of pros and cons to both sides. I think it's personal preference as to where you go, but I am definitely seeing a shift with clients of
Mhm.
wanting to go back earlier and do the early engagement, buy a house, make these decisions quicker
Yeah.
than my peer group who was really in my 30s when I was going to the predominant amount of weddings.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think planning is top of mind for people in our generation,
Yeah.
just because we know what our parents have gone through. At least I have older parents that are in their 60s, 50s, um, and they don't have the retirement. They aren't sure if they'll ever be able to retire.
Yeah.
Um, so like seeing that my generation is now like, okay, we need a plan. We need to learn these things. If school is not going to teach us, we're going to go online and find it. And that's why like things like this is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm shocked with the amount of traction that we've gotten and just the amount of
Mhm.
feedback that we get. Because again, we have fun, but we do provide like pretty important information in general terms.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things, and again, not that people are making decisions because of a specific reason, but I think for younger clients or just younger people in general, one of the things is just the cost of everything is so expensive. So if you think about it and you're like, how am I going to do this by myself? Not that
Mhm.
you have to have two people to afford certain things, but it makes it much easier with a dual income
Yeah.
situation to buy that house or to plan that wedding.
Mhm.
And you look at the national average of salaries across the country. I mean, we live in a place where incomes are very high, but you start going back to where we grew up in different areas in the Midwest, and people are making a fraction of the salaries down here. So it just becomes a very, very different environment of, okay, we need two of us to get out of debt. We need two of us to buy this house, two of us
Yeah.
to go on these vacations and do it and start to kind of scale bills.
Mhm. I also just think, like, the cost of living is so much higher down here that you almost, like, have to have higher incomes.
Yeah. Yeah, just the cost of entertainment. Now
Yeah.
we have a lot of things that are free. So, I mean, one of the nice perks I did it last night for the first time in a while was I went for a run and then I was coming back and it was like sunset. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna
Mhm.
just go an extra like quarter mile or half a mile, go to the beach.
Yeah.
And I went and it was packed. And I'm like, this costs
Mm,
$0.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
my house costs a lot of dollars to be in proximity to do that, but people drove and like you could go and do that and
Yeah.
for really no money get something that is pretty priceless.
Mhm.
You go back to where I grew up in Ohio, like I'm not driving to the beach of Lake Erie to like watch the sunset. It's
No.
very different than watching it on the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Um, so there are things that are inexpensive, but again, the cost of a house, the cost of groceries, the cost of
Mhm.
just the lifestyle of living in South or Southwest Florida is just a very different thing, and that's something that especially living here or going to school here, people get caught up in lifestyle, keeping up with
Yeah.
the Joneses of, okay, everybody has a fancy car, everybody has this type of house, or I live in this apartment with these amenities. And
Mhm.
these are hard conversations that we're having with our advisors and we're having with new clients of, do you really need that $3,500 a month apartment because it's got a golf simulator, a spa, and all of
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
crazy stuff in it? And I don't know the answer. If you make enough money and it's what you want to spend it on, by all means, do it.
Mhm.
But if people are doing that and then complaining about debt or having other things that are coming up, and these are things that, I mean, Troy, you had to go through it when you picked where to live. Kelsey, you'll kind of go through it
Yeah.
as you get out of living at school. But really, really hard decisions because there are apartments here that are tens of thousands of dollars a month, and then there are places that you could share with roommates for a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, when before I decided to move down here, I wasn't really certain that I was going to. Like, it was kind of a in the moment decision. I came down here for vacation.
Yeah.
I was down here for like 2 weeks. My nephew's taking me all these places, showing me around. I'm like, okay, maybe I could. There's plenty to do around here.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I worked remote, so I had had enough banked because of the wage I was making in Indiana compared to the rent that I was paying down
Right.
there up there. It was like $333. It was split between three people. but we were in a good neighborhood too. Like that's the
Right.
crazy thing.
Yeah.
But now down here, you're paying like 2,400 for a 2 bedroom. Um, so I had to make sure that math made sense. I
Right.
did my finances. I put in like my fixed incomes, my fixed cost, and then also things that could fluctuate to figure out if it made sense for me. So I had that in my pocket, at least finance wise. But
Yeah. And I think that's a starting point for a lot of people is they kind of
Mhm.
do this very rough, like Excel style budget sheet of, okay, here's the top line of what's coming in. Here's what I need for my housing and vehicle.
mhm,
Mhm.
And then let's try to figure the rest out.
mhm,
So
Yeah.
I joke with a lot of clients. They're like, "Well, I make X number of dollars top line and I only spend this." I'm like, "Well, you don't because you don't have the rest in savings." So I'm like, "You're spending the rest. If you make it and you don't have it saved, it's spent."
Yeah.
Like
mhm,
that's really kind of the only places it could go.
Yeah.
So you could donate it, I guess, but to me that's like kind of spending it, but or giving it away. But people are like, "No, my expenses are low. I make 10,000 and I only spend 5,000." I'm like, "Okay, so you're saving 5,000 a month." And they're like, "Oh, no, no, no." I'm like, "Okay, well,
Where's it
then yeah,
going?
where is it?" And they're
mhm,
like, "Well, no, but then I did this or we went on vacation or we did this." So I'm like, "So you spent it."
Yeah.
And
mhm,
they're like, "But it was a one-off thing." And I'm like, "But if you do a one-off thing every month, it becomes a regular thing."
mhm,
Mhm.
And that's when we start to look at credit cards and we look at just our normal bills of housing, phone, vehicle, things that come out of our bank account. That's what people relate to like normal spending.
Yeah.
mhm,
But then it's how many times do you go out to dinner? How many times do you go fill up your car with gas? How many times at the end of the
Mhm.
month do you go and you look at your credit card and you're like, "Oh, there's a couple extra $1,000." Those are still normal expenses.
Yeah.
It's just because we swipe them, we don't immediately have to pay them that we don't look at it that way.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's the part where people get in real trouble, especially in your age demographic, because you're given the ability to spend a substantial amount with really nothing backing it in terms of overall
Mhm.
income.
Yeah, I've heard some nightmares. I had a friend who got a house, decided to use a credit card, multiple credit cards, just swipe and do the renovations. And
It's
like, dude,
very dangerous.
yeah, it was like, you gotta start paying those back. Like,
Right. Yeah, and then you start talking about interest rates that are insanely high, somewhere in the
Mhm.
neighborhood of 15 to 30%. And again, the average person, I don't think even understands how that works. So you get a statement that says something like you owe this minimum. Okay, well, what does the minimum do? Does it even like
mhm,
start to tap into what you owe? Or is it just the minimum that they don't like shut your card off?
Mhm.
So these are things that, again, in the world that Chelsea and I live in, hopefully by now most of our clients aren't consumed by credit card debt, but some of them are, and some of them still have problems with overcharging or living above their means. But especially in your demographic and especially for a lot of the people that watch, these are topics that we're going to spend a lot of time on because debt is probably the biggest debilitator of people saving money.
Mhm.
And whether it be just overspending, credit card, student loans, and especially when we start to talk about like professional degrees,
Yeah.
a- attorneys, doctors, people that are going to enhance schooling for these degrees that are coming out with quarter a million, $500,000 in debt.
Yeah.
How do we get away from it? But then also just people that have undergraduate degrees that start to rack up consumer debt.
Mhm.
So hey, we've got these credit cards and we're building up these bills, but now I have a $5,000 balance, but I'm paying 30% or $1,500 of interest. It's
Mhm.
like, how you're never gonna outrun that unless we
no,
have a plan to take care of this.
Yeah, it can definitely get out of hand very fast, and it's
Yeah.
so overwhelming, especially when you don't even realize that that's what you're doing, like, that's what's going on. I feel like some people don't really know that's what they're doing.
No.
They're like, "What do you mean I'm $10,000 in debt, in
Right.
credit card debt? Like, that's crazy." But I feel I don't really see it too much, like, in my age group. I feel like mostly because a lot of us, I feel like, might not have credit cards yet or credit scores because we should, but I just feel like that might not something be a lot of people have. I do. I know some of my friends don't have them, which is also like, where do you make the first step? How do you just sign up and get a credit
Yeah.
card? Like,
Yeah. Things that again, we'll probably do full episodes on how to
yeah.
how to do these things and how to like become an adult. We joke around when I say we, Chelsea and I, about just the the group of people in the office that are really in your demographic and coming out and the things that we do on a daily basis just because we're 15, 20 years older and just like things like writing checks or things like again, how do you get a loan or how do you get a credit card or what is the right thing to get? How do you make sure that you're getting the right thing and it's not a predatory loan? There's a show on TV called Adults, and it's I mean it's like very like over the top and like not appropriate, but it's hilarious from the standpoint of you have a couple people in their 20s that are just trying to figure life out
Yeah.
and they like just go through and make like every mistake possible and it's like hilarious because for all the wrong reasons because I watch people go through this on a daily basis in my life at
Yeah.
work
Mhm.
and I'm like this was so common that they made a show about it and it becomes so relatable for this generation of people coming out because
Yeah.
for a lot of people and this is probably not going to go over well but I think a huge amount of people have been like babied throughout their, like, high
Yeah.
school and potentially college life, and bills were paid for them, and things were set up for them, and then people go out into the real world, and maybe mom and dad aren't there anymore, or maybe
Yeah.
there's not the financial support to continue to take
Yeah.
care of them, and now everybody's kinda like the bird out of the nest on their own, and they're like, "Oh, no, how do I figure this out?"
Mhm.
Yeah, that's something I'm grateful for that, like, my parents, yeah, they helped where they could, but they didn't always have all the money that to help me with everything, so, like, it was on me to figure it out, but they also taught me from a young age, like, you gotta work for your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, and it's there's a lot of things, and we'll probably do a full-on show about things like health insurance. I mean, you can now
Mhm.
be in the workforce and have health insurance on your parents' plan until I think you're 26 years old.
Yeah.
So it's like that's a long time of working before you actually elect benefits at your employer.
Yeah.
Um, Putting money into a 401k versus saving to buy a house. I mean, these are all things that, again, people go to their parents for. And I'm going to be honest, I've done this for a long time. Their parents may be the worst people to ask for this advice. Their parents could be a financial disaster, but in their eyes, it's still mom and dad and they're their heroes.
Yeah.
And they're trusting them with their financial future. And they're like, if we pulled the hood up and we would say, hey, mom and dad shouldn't be giving any financial advice, they're in trouble. And you're taking advice from them, it just kind of completes the circle of people being on the wrong end of financial success.
Yeah. It's just it goes in a circle. It's like if
It
you're
does.
asking people that don't have it all together, you're obviously not gonna end up with it all together.
Right.
Like, who do you go to? How do you know who to find and talk to about,
And
like, financial advice?
I think that's one of the biggest things that's an issue, and one of the things that's drawing a lot of people to our content is, like, we don't and we do to some extent have a horse in the race in the fact that we have a financial firm of people that help people
Mhm.
for a living, but we don't know the individuals that we're talking to. We're putting information out there, people are viewing it, and then if people want to reach out to us, they have some familiarity with us. But again, even if they go to a reputable firm and say, "Hey, I saw this," or "Hey, this is something that's out there," it's a step in the right direction for people getting help. Go to people that
Yeah.
are licensed, go to people that have credentials, go to people that have a firm that is like governed by these big organizations. Those are the people that had to take tests and had to actually go through vetting to give advice. Going
Mhm.
to your neighbor who's the plumber who is like saying, "Hey, go out and buy XYZ stock," is concerning.
Yeah.
And I
Agreed.
and I get that on a regular basis. Is my neighbor said to buy this. I'm like, "Who's your neighbor?" He's like, "Oh, he's bankrupt and like, but he likes the stock." I'm like, "Great. That's awesome."
Yeah, or they're going online where people aren't licensed as well and just putting out whatever. I think it's kind of like going to a doctor or like getting health advice. Like you're gonna go to a doctor rather than go to some like chiropractor or like somebody that isn't licensed for what they're trying to do. Like you want to go to the person who is trained for that circumstance. That makes sense.
Yeah, right. Like you're not gonna go to a dentist to fix your brain.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
there are different specialties in what we do. So if you've got a knee issue or you need like your ACL repaired, like again, you're not going to the eye doctor.
Mhm.
Mm.
So there are specialties in what we do. And again, I think that it's really important to seek out people that, again, they have credentials, they're vetted. I mean, all of us, like, I mean, you could go online and look at myself and Chelsea. Like, we've done this for a long time. We're vetted. It says if there have ever been any issues with either of us, which there haven't, knock on wood. But there's a lot of stuff that going into this business, I mean, your history is put out there for the public. So look into who you're working with, look into the information that you're getting. And again, that's one of the fun parts of what we do. And we're fighting to get a lot of this stuff to be more collaborative with comments and things like that on our platform. But everything we say is vetted by a pretty intense compliance department. So
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
that get out in here, like, have been scrutinized heavily
Mhm.
before they hit the airwaves.
Yeah.
So there are other people that can just go and say whatever they want. It's not vetted, it's not recorded. I mean, some stuff is live. I mean, our stuff we record a couple days in advance. It goes through a process, and then we know that we can actually put it out. And then there have been some videos in the past where we've said brand names or different things like that. Like, we get bleeped.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
it
We
happens.
we don't always know what is gonna get taken out
Right.
or not. Um, Compliance process is something that was interesting when I first started
Right.
to figure out, like, okay, I'm getting all these documents and stuff, but, like, it's not super cut and dry.
No, it's probably the complete opposite. Is we try stuff, we say what we can. Most of the stuff, I mean, all of the stuff that we say from the financial side is true. We can back it up. We're gonna do a lot more of that kind of as we talk about where the show is going with different segments that are coming out throughout the week and then implementing them into our show. So
Mhm.
we are going to verify everything we say with math, with calculators, with our planning
Mhm.
software, and really give people, because we are starting to get far more insight of something like buying a house. Like,
Yeah.
should I buy a house on a 15-year mortgage or a 30-year mortgage? It's a great question. Let's dive into it.
Yeah.
Should I put 3% or 5% down, or should I put 20% down to avoid PMI? Great question.
Mm.
Should I buy my engagement ring cash or should I finance it? Great. Let's look into it. And we
Mhm.
want numbers and scenarios from viewers to say, give us real world examples. Like, we can put fake numbers up there, but give us your numbers. Like, let's make this interactive in a way where we can really make an impact in the viewers' lives. If people want to reach out to us individually, again, I have a firm of dozens of advisors throughout the state that work across the country. Like, we have tons of people that will help on an individual basis. But just from the general knowledge standpoint, like, send us your stuff. Like, we're happy to create content around that.
Mhm.
And we'd probably do it fairly quickly. Like, if
Yeah.
somebody sends us a message, we could probably get it turned around in a couple weeks or a month of from the time your question gets sent in to getting it compliance approved, running the show, and having everything go out. And we'll correspond with you in the meantime of what the answer is very quickly. But to then have it be broadcast, I think is pretty quick at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We That's something I've thought of in the past is, like, I want to do a show or, like, even if it's just a little short that we put out, um, about, like, these scenarios of, like, what people could possibly go through from the worst to the best to the
Right.
middle.
Yeah.
So, just getting that information out there so people, like, kinda hopefully we hit on something where it relates to them.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's so many different things in the world of money that people don't think about, even when it comes to debt. So, kind of going back to Kelsey's scenario, student loans versus credit card debt versus buying a house.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have three different categories of debt. What do I pay down the fastest? What makes the most sense? Is there an optimal calculation to make sure that this happens? When
Mhm.
I go to buy a house, do I understand what debt to income ratio is? I mean, most people probably don't. And does that balance on their credit card hurt them drastically whenever they go to buy the house? Or did somebody co-sign for their student loans? Or do they know if their significant other has student loans? I mean, all stuff that comes up that people really need to know before they make decisions. And people are just out there making decisions in individual scenarios rather than putting
Mhm.
everything together and making it with all of the information needed.
Yeah.
So I think that for your demographic, this is going to be a very, very informative show.
Mhm.
Probably more information to help make decisions early on and then to become consumers and save later or at a beginning stage, like, relatively quickly. For people kind of on I'm saying our side of the table, like mine and Chelsea's, being, hey, we've already made some of these decisions. We're starting to make a little bit more money. Now we need to start to think about preserving it and next level of advancing our investments and making bigger decisions and doing some of this stuff rather than kind of the beginning stages of it. So
Yeah.
we're going to hit on all different topics. We're bringing different people in here. I know my partner Jerry has filmed a couple segments that are going to be coming out in the next couple weeks. Chelsea's going to be back to do a lot more of the things that we were doing before, but really excited to be in our new studio. It looks amazing. Troy, Kelsey, you guys have done a phenomenal job of building this out, and we're really excited for what the rest of this brings.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. Everybody like, subscribe, comment when you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure to follow us on all platforms. Troy will put up all of the different places that you could follow us. The shorts are obviously getting the highest amount of traction, so they're popping up all over the place. The long form, come and watch it. There's a lot of good dialogue in there. There's things that are really good nuggets that don't get put into the shorts that I find, and I'm like, hey, we should really take this and make this a short so people see it. But like, subscribe, do all of the things you can to help grow this network, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So, like, really what we're kicking off, and I think it's cool to just kind of dive in and let people know who you guys are, because you're going to be talking, you're going to be commenting, you're going to be running stuff from behind the scenes of what's happening in this. So I think it's a cool thing that people will kind of get to know who you are. And we do have mics and we do have cameras
Hmm.
on what's actually happening here. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Excited? You nervous?
I'm both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to do good.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll try to help direct and,
Yeah.
help you with some things if I can.
Yeah.
You don't know exactly what you do here, I can tell you.
I feel like I know what I do.
No, I'm just
Do any of us really know what we do here?
I'm not sure.
and on day to day it changes.
It does.
honestly.
Yeah, it changes all the time.
Yeah.
Keith's currently manning the audio board.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
like, I'm
Right.
doing this today? Okay.
Oh, this is perfect.
Registered representative and financial advisor, Park Avenue Securities, LLC, PAS, OSJ 14021, Metropolis Ave, Fort Myers, Florida, 33912-239-561-2900. Securities products and advisory services offered through PAS, member FINRA, SIPC. Financial representative of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, New York, NY. PAS is a wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Alliance Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of PAS or Guardian. CA insurance license number 0M21715. AR insurance license number 158383330. 8517815.1 expires 1027.